be mindful of what your definition of success is. Because if wide open spaces is my yardstick for how I'm measuring success, that means I did it well one time and the rest of the time I failed.
I'm at the Grand Mesa Songwriter Festival with Susan Gibson.
Hello, I'm at the Grand Mesa Songwriter Festival with Andy.
We didn't cross paths at all yesterday.
No.
But how was it?
It was sublime.
Awesome.
It was such a greght day.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a handful of people here that I knew, or maybe we've crossed paths once or twice. But I got knocked out by some people I didn't know. And it feels like this morning I'm getting to kind of run into the people that I didn't see yesterday. So that feels good.
Cool.
But the festival was great. I told the gal that was taking pictures out there that I had to keep reminding myself that this was their first one because it was so smooth and everybody seemed so calm.
Yes.
And everything was working.
Yes.
And the songwriters were great.
It was awesome. I noticed, I was actually thinking on my run this morning, David didn't seem like he was at the stress level of running a music festival.
No,
Just kind of...
It made me wonder if he actually indeed was running a music
he
festival.
might not have been.
Well, anytime I complimented him, he kept pushing it off onto his volunteers, which is really graceful. But I also know that David doesn't do anything half-ass, you know? And so I'm not surprised that it was so great. And that doesn't surprise me at all. It just felt like they'd been doing it, you know? So it's great.
So I got to get right down into this with you because this is fascinating.
Okay.
There's a lot of van life has blown up in the last few years. Van life. You know all about the van life. You've got the dog, you've got the van.
Got the van, got the solar panels, my van is a very rustic van. It's just a cargo van. I don't have the build out where everything's cool and you look through the round bubble window out onto the ocean. I don't have any of that.
Okay.
So I have everything is
nothing you
bungee
see on
cord.
Instagram.
No. My van is not an Instagram worthy van, but my van is I love it. It's I should probably buy stock in bungee cords, cargo netting, and magnetic hooks because everything is kind of hooked up on the walls and the ceiling. And then I've got platforms in there where my dog has her space to be, and then I got good storage and comfortable bed. It's actually a 2-bedroom. And yes, I've got my bed in the back, and then there's a long twin bed in case I pick up any vagrants or something. Where they have their own place to stay. So it's great. 2018 Ford Transit, I highly recommend.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I was a Sprinter girl for a long, long time.
Okay.
And then I had some real consistent trouble with the Sprinter.
Okay.
Which resulted in getting stranded in Colorado Springs and having to buy or switch rides mid-tour. And that's where I found the Transit.
Oh, my.
That it kind of accommodated everything that I had in the Sprinter.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do I remember correctly that you have a place in Texas and Montana?
Yeah, I live in Texas,
Okay.
But we have a family place up in northwestern Montana on Flathead Lake. So my summer trips consist of touring up there and then getting to Montana and then working out of our cabin and so doing stuff in the northwest during the summer because Texas is terrible in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse. It's just so hot.
Yeah.
So it's not pleasant. I don't like it.
This is my wife and I's will be our first full summer in Nashville, and we've decided not to be there.
Yeah. Sorry, Rocky Mountains, but you asked for it by being so darn nice.
I'll say so.
Yeah, it's great. It's great up here.
And you do a lot of different things, touring, coaching. I know you've judged songwriting contests. You do all these different things. Do you like it that way? Just constant?
You know what? I love staying in conversation about songs.
Yeah.
I love that. And also, Andy, there's times when I think I need to probably quit talking about it so much and just do it more because I there's a certain amount of and having said that, I'm going to Irene's workshop here in a minute. So, I mean, I love being in that conversation.
Yeah.
But there's times when you feel like you used all of your creativity talking about the songs or helping someone, midwife in their own song.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you're like, God, it feels like I wrote 3 songs today.
Yeah.
And you get home and it's like, nope, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't write any songs today.
Yeah.
And so there's a balance to be struck, and I don't know that I've found the balance.
Yeah.
But I really do love being in those conversations. There's just something that is so intimate about talking with other people about what they're working, what compels them to sit down and capture a thing and make it a song that they want to share.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
Absolutely. I love you said just being a part of the conversation about songs.
Yeah.
Is the joy any different for you when you hear your own finished product as opposed to somebody plays one of your songs and hearing someone else do that?
I would say the joy is really close. It is such an affirmation to have someone else, especially another songwriter.
Yeah.
Hear something that you've written and think, I want to sing that.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, did you talk to Lauren?
I did.
Okay, can't remember her last name. Do you remember her last name?
Massetti.
Massetti. Lauren Massetti.
Right, I was being violent. I'm sorry.
I got to swap with her yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She probably, every song she played is something that I thought, I wish I'd have written that. I would love to sing that.
Yeah.
Just that idea that, wow, you kind of get to be a fan. I'm thinking of it on the opposite way, and where I'm hearing a song that I think, wow, that person is speaking on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you flip that over and someone says, well, Andy, I want to record one of your songs, like it feels so great to think that you nailed something, really well, to where someone else says, I really want to sing that. I think that I want to broadcast that.
Yeah.
So that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's a really great feeling. I would put that in that same vein of getting that line that can't be anything else but that line in the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that feeling. So, but it doesn't happen with every song.
Right.
Sometimes it happens more than once in a song, but it's that lightning feeling that you just don't have that much control over, if any.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You wrote Wide Open Spaces for the Dixie Chicks, now the Chicks.
Yep.
What did that do for you in terms of, did that change your whole career? Was it just another thing that happened?
Oh, yeah.
And if you were talking to a really young songwriter who's like, I just need to have a hit, what would you tell them?
I would say it changed my whole life. Before that song, I was a hobbyist, really. I didn't know that's what happens sometimes, is that songs get, and not even that's what happens with sometimes, but I didn't really understand the business of, like, there's a whole city of people writing songs for this village of people to sing on the radio. Right? There's an army over here, and there's a couple of people that get to sing them.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't understand that at all. I didn't have any concept of that. So the whole thing was just like a 1,000-mile-an-hour education on one hand.
Wow.
Because it just, having zero experience. I was going to college when I wrote the song.
Wow.
And I was in a, local band when the song got picked up. So we were it was like, right?
Yeah.
And it put a lot of attention and a big spotlight on us, because that's what the Chicks do. They're great about spotlighting the writers that they use. Not every artist is that way.
Yeah.
Right? But the Chicks are really great about who they choose their songs from and really spotlighting them. So we had a whole bunch of attention on us really early on. And I think that would have been a different thing had I written for 20 years and then finally got the hit, versus like being barely born as a songwriter and having that kind of attention. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
It really points out how lucky that kind of luck is, because had I written for years and years and then that happened, I might think, well, yeah, that's, you put in the work and you did the time and you've produced a lot of stuff and this one made it out.
Yeah.
And that's just not my experience with that song. It was so early and so soon. And I would say I was not prepared for that kind of success. So
Wow.
for your second part of your question, I would tell young songwriters to prepare for success.
Yeah.
Operate in the world that you're going to have some success.
Yeah.
So that when it does happen to you, that isn't a big burden, that your success isn't a burden on you to try to catch up to.
Okay.
You know, that's what I would say. And you know, and then I would say too, be mindful of what your definition of success is. Because if wide open spaces is my yardstick for how I'm measuring success, that means I did it well one time and the rest of the time I failed. Right? Because I don't have other songs that have done that. I don't even have other songs I have one other song that's appeared on another record other than my own. Right? So if that level of, you know, visibility, money, you know, prestige, awards, whatever, all the stuff that came with that song, if that's my definition of success, I've been a horrible failure, right? Because I only did that one time. But if I change my definition of success to be like longevity, like I'm still doing it, you know, I still love it. I'm still making friends that I think, how else would I meet these people except for music?
You're influencing lots of other songwriters.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, and I'm being influenced by them.
Yeah.
You know, that's a win, I think. I think one of the reasons why I love these kind of things is I'm sure all of us that are here at this songwriting festival I hear an awful lot of Susan Gibson songs pretty regularly every day when I'm singing them, and I can get in this bubble of thinking, God, it's kind of isolating. And then you get to come to an event like this, and then you get to be like, oh yeah, no wait, we're all bubbles.
Yeah.
And you know how bubbles do when they touch, they kind of go bloop, bloop, oh, bigger bubble.
Yep.
You know, and you get to have that kind of, let that fresh air in and some light into your own thing. You know, so. Yeah, young songwriters, man, just write the best you can, take big risks, swing big, and be prepared for your success. You know, if that's taking a business class, or, you know, taking an online thing about what publishing is, or, you know,
I love that.
Whatever it is, you know, prepare yourself.